Hey guys, it's Sarah Mueller here from Decluttering Club and Declutter My Home and Early Bird Mom. And I wanted to jump on here. It's been so long since I have gone live and I really missed you guys. And it's just been a really busy summer and it was not very conducive to me getting online. So I am back and I hope you guys are great. We have had so much activity in the group and I'm really excited about that. So I thought I would jump on here and answer some questions. And also, we have some housekeeping and some kind of announcements that I'll go through. But so welcome. And if you have questions, go ahead and pop those into the comments. Now, couple things. First of all, we have our Declutter Your Books challenge going on right now. And it's a 3-part challenge. And the third part is coming out, I think it's tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Saturday, and you'll have until Monday to finish that up. So I really hope you join me for that because I've got some really great prizes to give away. And so you have a really good chance to win the prizes. We're giving away a Kindle Fire because I was thinking with books, if you can store them virtually, then it's a lot easier than letting them, pile up on your bookshelf. So you can have basically unlimited amount of ebooks. So we're going to give away a Kindle Fire and also a really neat book tote bag and some Starbucks gift cards and also copies of my book. So I'll leave the links to the challenge posts in the comments here when we're done talking. So you guys can check that out because I would love to have you join me for that. Thank you for those thumbs up. Where are you guys all coming from? I would love to hear where everyone's chiming in from today because I haven't checked in with you guys lately. So let me know where you're coming from. Let's see. We have a couple new things that we are trying out in the group. So we're trying really hard to keep our group to be the best place for decluttering advice on Facebook. And I think it really is the best place for decluttering advice. We've got so much work, so much activity going on, such great advice. But there's obviously lots of questions that come up when you're decluttering, how do I clean this? How do I organize that? And so we have a lot of that happening too. And we really don't want to get too distracted from our main focus of decluttering. So what we're trying out for now is that we have a post in the group solely dedicated to cleaning. So if you have a question about how to clean something, or if you have a great tip on how to clean something, you can drop it into that post. And I should have grabbed my links before I started here, but I don't have them. So I will grab those after the fact and drop those into this post as well. So again, your cleaning questions and tips, please leave them in that post. And then we have a similar post for organizing. Again, we just don't want to get too sidetracked on how to organize particular things. Obviously, decluttering and organizing go totally hand in hand. So we totally understand that, but we don't want to get too sidetracked. Hi, Kelly. Kelly is from Prince Edward Island. And Gretchen. Hi, Gretchen. So nice to see you. Glad to have you here from Arkansas. Awesome. So cleaning and organizing, we have dedicated threads for that. And that, I imagine, is going to turn into a really great store of knowledge for people just to be able to scroll through. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so a couple other things that I want to try out. Let's see, Suzanne says she's from Kitchener, Ontario. A lot of Canadians here. Hey guys. Okay, so we're going to try this. I've got it posted here. We are going to try to also start using some hashtags, okay? As you can imagine, the group is just humongous, and we have literally tens of thousands of posts every month that are coming up. And to help us kind of be a little bit more organized, along with having these two cleaning and organizing posts, I'm going to encourage you, invite you to use these hashtags. So you can use hashtag tip if you want to share a tip, decluttering tip, something that you came across. Nice blinds. Thank you. You know what? They came with the house, so I have no idea. I think they were custom. The window treatments in this house were like crazy expensive when we bought the house because we saw the bill. The people who lived in my house before we bought it, they kept all their paperwork, so it was really helpful for us. So anyway, when you're posting, if you have a tip, go ahead and use the hashtag tip when you're posting. If you have a question that you would like me to answer or other people to answer, you can use the hashtag QQ. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And then if you are sharing a success story, then post it with hashtag clutterwin. You can read that, because those will be searchable then. So if somebody else wants to read a bunch of wins and, they're looking for some motivation and they're like, oh, I really just need to hear about some good stuff, they can click Clutter Win in any one person's post, and it will come up with a whole bunch of posts that have that same hashtag. Okay. So it's going to kind of make our group a little bit more searchable. It already is searchable, but this will just give us a little additional level of indexing. Let's see. Haley Harper Lindsay from Georgia. Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, so that's what we're going to try. We'll see how it goes. You guys tell me if you like it or not. Let's see, what else do we have? We also have a pinned post, and you can't see that. If you're on mobile, it actually doesn't show up when you open the group, but if you scroll all the way to the top on mobile, there's a little link that says view pinned post, and you can go there, and we've got lots of different links in there. If you're just getting started, we have a link to our 10-minute challenges. Love the hashtag idea. Awesome. Good. We've got 10-minute challenges and other resources that you can find in that post, and we will be changing that up every now and then with, as new things come up. So especially if you're new, go ahead and scroll all the way up to the group on Facebook, and you'll see all kinds of great resources. Okay, so that was like the group housekeeping. Oh, and the other thing is we have multiple admins in this group. We have fantastic admins, and they are so on top of things. So if you need any help, or if you have a question, or if somebody posted a rude comment, you can always tag me, or you can also tag any of the admins, and you can find them by looking at the list of members in the group, and they will totally take care of things for you. So I would be nothing without our admins. They are just super fantastic, and I love them. So go ahead and access that if you need. We've actually haven't had any issues in a while, so that's kind of great. Good. Okay, so I did want to talk about one question that came up this morning. It was, what's the difference, or how do you differentiate between nagging your kids or maybe your family to clean up and just being firm with them, right? This is a struggle, I think, that every parent probably goes through to some extent or another. And I deal with this with my children every day. I have 4 boys, by the way, and they are not perfect, but we are working on it. And I'm not perfect either, of course. So I thought I would talk a little bit about how to be firm without nagging, because if you can find that fine line between not nagging but being firm, it goes a long way towards keeping your house cleaner. And especially if you have started to declutter, then you might notice all of a sudden the other people in my house do not feel the same way about this as I do. And they are sabotaging all my efforts, like maybe not intentionally, but they're undoing all of my hard work. And if we would just all work together, life would just be so much easier, right? And it would just take such a load off. So these are my thoughts on being firm without nagging. So I think you really need to, first of all, decluttering your laptop. Cool, awesome. You really need to be aware of your tone of voice. So, and I catch myself at this frequently. Listen to yourself, and if you are using that voice that makes your kids go, oh, like if you're going, like I have a son named Jack, and I find myself doing this sometimes. I'll be like, Jack, if I'm calling out his name and then demanding that he do something, he's probably going to cringe every time he hears his name. That is not going to set him up for a cooperative attitude, right? So I really am careful to not constantly be calling him and then just giving him directions, right? I really want him to, to enjoy hearing me call his name. So just like pay attention to your tone of voice. But then if you give your kids instructions, they're probably going to ignore you, right? I mean, this is what my kids do a lot of the time. And it's a test, right? This is a big test. how serious is mom? Does she really mean it this time? Or is she just going to go and do it herself because I'm going to ignore her, right? Guys, it's time to put your book bags away. It's time to put your lunch boxes away. They do nothing. They keep doing what they're doing. They may walk away. They turn around. This is a big test for you. So you have a couple options. You can do what they want you to do, which is just to go and do it yourself in a huff, probably. And, that will keep training them to ignore you and make you feel resentful and angry. Or what you can do, and what I like to do is, so ask them once. I make sure that my voice is loud enough, because I do think it's important to be loud enough, particularly boys. I've heard that they actually don't hear as well. And I'm not trying to this, but they actually don't hear you if you're talking too quietly. Like, women tend to speak a little softer, and boys may need you to speak up, and you can speak up without yelling. Especially if you don't already have their attention, it may be important to just be a little louder and project, right? But then, so what I've been doing lately is I give an instruction and then I wait and I stand there, and they'll look and they'll be like, she stopped, and then they'll look up and they'll see me looking at them and they'll be like, okay, busted here. Like, they know at this point that I know they heard me. And it's a little disconcerting for them if you don't repeat yourself 4 times. If you just tell them once and then wait, right? And just wait and see. And they'll be like, oh, and then there'll be some eye rolling and there might be some sighing, but that's okay. Okay. And my goal is really for them to understand this is what we need to do. And they are welcome to choose however they feel about my instructions. I'm not even going to notice if there's a little huffing and puffing and eye rolling. I don't care. That's totally their choice. As long as they understand, hey, this is what we do. That is really all I'm asking for. Obviously, I don't want them to be throwing things around, but I really my goal is for them to just follow instructions and then hopefully build that habit. But my first tactic is usually to issue the instruction once and then wait and see what happens. And that will freak them out a little bit if they're accustomed to you, asking them 14 times to do stuff. So that might be effective right there. But if it's not, you can go and you can tell them again, you can say, you're not going to do X until Y is done. So, you're not going out to play until your book bag is put away, or you're not going to watch TV until you've cleared up the kitchen, or whatever it is. If you can connect what you want them to do with something that they want to do, it just makes it that much easier. And if your kids are anything like mine, they're actually really fast at doing these things. They're really good at ignoring you and pretending they didn't hear you, but they're also, like, the things that you're asking them to do are probably not things that are going to take forever. So once they decide they're going to do it, super fast, like, it's done and it's no big deal. Let's see, Katrina. Hi, Katrina. Katrina says, I'm now naturally quiet voice due to my MS. My kids, thanks to allergies, often have clogged ears. Okay. Oh, tap them on the shoulders to get them to turn around and realize I'm talking to them. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, you have to get their attention. Totally. Write it down. Oh, that's a good one. Use facial, give them the evil eye, right? Like, mom means business. Sometimes I think we just try to be too nice to our kids. And we don't want to, we don't want them to be unhappy with us, but at the same time, it's so important for them to learn this stuff. And it just makes the house such a nice place to be. And it is not fair if mom is doing all the work or if dad is doing all the work. That is not good for them. It's not good for you. It's just so much better when everyone works together. So definitely just tying the chore into what you want, into what they want to do later. If you have a list, you can just type up or write up a quick checklist and then say, you got to get these 3 things done every day when you come home from school, and then you can go out to play. And then all you have to say is, did you do your list? Or you can say, hey, I see you didn't do your list. Your shoes are here on the floor, and that's it. And then just so much easier. Let's see, Cynthia says, I don't have kids, so I'm usually the one who does things around the house as I'm retired. My husband isn't. However, he does his part. Fantastic. Yeah, everybody lives there, right? It's even if one person stays at home and the other person goes to work, it doesn't mean that it doesn't make that person, the person who stays home, is not the maid, right? Definitely not. Doesn't mean they don't do more of the cleaning, but everybody can clean up after themselves. And this is a struggle I know lots of people face, and I'm totally sympathetic with you there. But I really think it is well within your rights to insist that everybody do their part around the house. And it's not really helping you, right? Like if you're the mom, it's not helping you. It's everybody needs to do their own part. You know, it's not like it's my job to do all this stuff and then I should be grateful if they pitch in. That is not that at all. I want them to understand that when you're part of a family, this is the stuff that you do. And everybody's a team and we need to work together. And I think it really makes for much more grateful kids if they understand that they have to do their fair share, you know. So I don't know if that helps with that question of nagging versus being firm, but really just insisting, you know, and you don't have to repeat yourself 10 times, but you can say, well, no, I'm not going to do that for you because you're not done with whatever it is you're supposed to do right now. And that, you know, you can just say that very calmly and matter of fact, and there'll be unhappiness, and that's okay, right? That is okay. People don't like it when you change, you know, you change the rules on them, but it may need to happen. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop those into the comments. But I also wanted to tell you really quick, we are opening up enrollment for Decluttering School next Tuesday. And I'm so excited. We've had a small group going through the training with me so far for the past 2 months. And it has been so much fun, and I'm so excited to bring this to you. This Decluttering School is, it's kind of like this group, but kicked up a notch. So if you have enjoyed hearing from me and, you know, using my materials and working with my group here in Declutter My Home, Decluttering School is like that, but 10 times more, right? So we go deeper and we have more resources, and you'll get focused training from me every week in a really manageable way. So one of the things that I always try to do is to make things real actionable and practical, like real bite-sized, right? I don't want to overwhelm anybody with any of the stuff that I produce. So, you know, like the 10-minute challenges, people love those because they feel such a sense of accomplishment after just like cleaning off the refrigerator, right? Like it's like, oh my gosh, this looks so much better. And now you might even be inspired to go and do more. It's like that with Decluttering School, but it's just that much more involved and focused. And so if you like to join, you'll get a lesson every week, and there's a whole bunch of training already loaded up in there for you. Let's see, Roxy says, keeping myself motivated, empty nester, how to stay actively decluttering. I think the key to any decluttering is to know why you want to declutter. So, you know, is it because you want to have friends and family over and you feel like you can't do that right now? Or is it so that you have room to craft? Or, you know, what's the why behind that? And then when you have that defined in your head, then you will have incentive and motivation to keep going. That is really what I try to emphasize. Let's see. Kelly says, when we start the challenges from the beginning, okay, she just joined on the fridge challenge. Do we post pictures as we go along? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, every email that you get will have a link to the associated post in the group. So you can click on that link, and even if it's 3 or 4 months old, people are joining every single day. So you can totally post your pictures in there, and you can go back and see what other people did. And it's kind of nice when people do that, because then it brings up these topics that we discussed a while ago, and so they come up again. So absolutely, would love to see your pictures. Totally. I'm glad you like the hashtag idea. Yeah. Oh, if you're just joining us, we are going to be using some hashtags to make our group a little bit more searchable. So if you have a tip to share, and I love tips, I would love to see your tips, decluttering tips. Just add this hashtag to your post. If you have questions, you can do hashtag QQ. And if you have a success story, then do hashtag clutterwin. And we will all give you a huge celebration for that. Let's see. Katrina says, Roxy, being home alone all day, I'm disabled. I found when I can declutter, for me, my key is to keep my goal and to keep a vision of what I want the space to look like when it's done. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, keep that vision in mind, because that will propel you towards success. I was talking to my 10-year-old son, Jack, before he started school. I said, whatever you look for, that's what you're going to find at school. So if you go to school thinking, oh, it's a new school, it's kind of scary, there's going to be so many kids. Like, if you go in there looking for that, that's what you're going to find. And you're going to find all kinds of reasons to believe those things. But if you go to school thinking, this is a new adventure, this is exciting, I can't wait to meet some new friends and learn some new stuff, then that is what you're going to find. So whatever you're looking for, that's what you're going to find when you get there. Right? Literally, your brain is going to seek out the things that you are looking for. So the same thing with decluttering. If you are looking for ways to make your home more pleasant and to accomplish that goal that you've set in mind, then that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to focus on, and that's where you're going to go. But if you look at your house and you go, oh, this is a disaster, this is so frustrating, I'm so depressed, then that's how you're going to feel, and that's what you're going to get more of, right? So it's so important to keep your head pointed in the right direction. And it doesn't mean that you won't have a hard day, and it doesn't mean that you won't get frustrated, but try to keep yourself pointed in that direction, because that's what you're going to find, right? As opposed to just kind of being stuck, right? Katrina says, Kelly, please post pictures of your success. Yes, absolutely. Cynthia says, I want my house to look decent in case we get unexpected company. Since my husband and I have our own home office, our living room doesn't get a lot of use, but it still accumulates clutter. Absolutely. That's a perfect reason to declutter, just to have a great place and just welcome people in. Absolutely. Love that. Let's see. So one other thing I wanted to mention, when we talk about clutter, I think the first thing that comes to mind is all the stuff, right? Like, and people love checklists. That's why we love our 10-minute challenges. And in decluttering school, we have lots of great things. Like we have these action plans. This is the one that's coming out tomorrow. And we've got lots of different checklists and things. So that's sort of where people focus initially, is on the stuff. Like, just tell me what to do and, tell me what to get rid of. But I think what you will notice in a lot of the things that I produce is that not only is it about the stuff, but even more importantly, it's really about what is going on inside of you, like what's going inside of your head. How did you get to the point where you have too many books or too many clothes or, too many dishes, and what is holding you back emotionally? And we talk a lot about that in decluttering school, how to figure out what's going on and how to realize what is going on and then take action on that, because that is the hard part. Right? It's not really that hard to to organize up a shelf. It really isn't, and that's what people notice when they start our challenges. Oh my gosh, this is so easy. But the real work happens in in the emotional and the mental space. So that's also what we talk about a lot in decluttering school. So that is all I have. If you guys have more questions, pop them in there. Like I said, I haven't been going live lately, and I really missed hanging out with you guys. So I'm so glad you guys are on here today with me. I just can't get over how amazing Facebook is, that I can talk to people all around the world in real time. It's like my own TV show. It's just super fun, and have such an amazing group with amazing people. Our group is just the best group ever. We have so many wonderful people, and I'm just so grateful for you guys all. And yeah, so that's all I have today. Let's see. Okay, Jennifer says, we rent a small home and a galley kitchen. I think I have too much stuff to fit into it, but in the end, it doesn't seem like an unreasonable amount of stuff compared to my mother's kitchen or my mother-in-law's. They just have a much bigger space. I guess I'm struggling with paring down. I think I just struggle with having a small rental. Okay. So that is a really good point, Jennifer. I would say maybe you are struggling with, not having that amazing kitchen that you see your mother or your mother-in-law having. And thank you, Kelly. Awesome. Maybe that is kind of something that you need to come to terms with. And thanks, Cynthia. Just maybe that is an issue. And I mean, maybe you can get creative, right? Like maybe there's places that you can take some of those things that you don't use every day in the kitchen, and maybe they can go into, under bed storage or up in a closet or something like that. That's the kind of in your head. Absolutely. Absolutely. But just the fact that you realize that that is, an issue for you, I think is super helpful, because once you notice what's going on, then you can do something about it. Then you can kind of be curious and be like, why do I feel this way? Am I unhappy? Is this like a temporary thing and I'm kind of frustrated because it's taking longer than I thought? Or, am I having to let go of a dream that I have right now? Like I don't have my dream home at this point. Once you figure out what is kind of that mental roadblock, then you can start to, just examine it and maybe take action, or, maybe realize that it's something you have to grieve. That may be a very real thing. And then once you do, then you can change things, right? Then you could say, you know what, I really, this bread maker is just taking up too much space and I love it, but I'm only using it once a month. So I'm going to let it go, and I freed up a whole cupboard, and, it can make a big difference. It's easier to let go when you realize the emotions that are involved, right? Katrina says, Jennifer, growing up, we had a galley kitchen. My mom ended up using the hall closet as a pantry. So she had the space to store the stuff she needed. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you could totally get creative. Absolutely. That may make a big difference in finding room for more stuff. And I think at the end of the day, it's so good to realize that it's just all stuff, and it's not like the things that we remember are the people, right? Like all these people in Houston, it just breaks my heart, because there's so much loss that went on there. And I know that those people, they may be mourning the loss of their homes and, special things, but I know that they're like the people and their family and their memories are really what is the most important at the end of the day. So that's good to remember too. All right. Okay, guys, I have to go. My kids are going to be home from school in a little while, but I thank you all for joining in here. It's been super fun, and you know where you can find me. All right. I'll see you later.